MKenzee Davenport didn't get a chance to finish what she wanted to say as her big brother stormed across the room. He didn't look her way or even hesitate to acknowledge her before disappearing into the training room where doctors and trainers buzzed around their friend, Janie Lynn, after someone had brutally attacked her during Max's football game. Ow! MKenzee stomped her foot at his dismissal. She needed to tell him something, and she would not be ignored. "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but you're still not allowed in here," said the FBI agent, seated like a guard dog just outside the door she needed to enter. He grated on McKenzie's last nerve. She'd tried reasoning with him multiple times. He refused to pay attention. On top of that, Max couldn't be bothered to acknowledge her? How ridiculous. "I have to talk to someone about what happened," she said again. "Officers will get around to your statement when they can. Until then, you need to stay out here." He brushed her off, not even glancing her way as he spoke, too busy with his precious phone. "You just let my brother—" "Ma'am, don't make me tell you again," he threatened, looking up at her from where he sat in a chair just outside the door she needed to enter. His eye contact lasted less than an instant before his gaze went back to his phone. The little twerp didn't appear old enough to shave. McKenzee decided she could take him, even with his shiny FBI windbreaker, his fancy badge hanging on a lanyard around his neck, and the compact side piece strapped in the holster on his belt. If this guy represented the future of law enforcement in America, the country was in grave peril. "If I could just—" He scooted his chair sideways to ignore her. She'd had enough. McKenzee glimpsed over her shoulder. Her sister and friends huddled in the far corner, fine together. She inhaled to shore up her resolve and shoved the door open behind the agent. In his scrambling alarm, she sidestepped the agent and entered the training room. Max sat beside Janie Lynn's physical therapy table. Her eyes were closed, her face and arms already turning black and blue. Dried blood crusted on her hair and clothes. Max held her hand. He leaned forward, his forehead resting on the cushion next to her arm. McKenzee stopped short. If a picture spoke 1,000 words, the image before her narrated an epic novel of despair. Oh, she'd had no idea. Their little sister Marie had hinted that she thought something might be going on between Janie Lynn and their big brother Max, but Marie, a hopeless romantic, liked to imagine the entire world was falling in love at any given moment. McKenzee usually allowed Marie's ramblings to go in one ear and out the other without giving them too much credence. Perhaps she'd been onto something concerning Max and Janie Lynn. Janie Lynn had spent the past few days in Kansas City. McKenzee assumed Janie Lynn needed to help Max with a few house projects he couldn't make time for during the football season. Clearly, there was more to it. Much more. "Ma'am, you cannot be in here." The agent reached forward to grab McKenzee. The instinct to protect herself kicked in. In a defensive move, she turned, grabbing his wrist to twist the man's arm behind his back. At that precise moment, a strong, deep voice behind her took control of the room with a quiet but commanding statement. "She's fine." "Oh." McKenzee released the agent and lifted her hands placatingly. Agent Nadir snarled at her, likely embarrassed a civilian had bested him, and a girl at that. She raised an eyebrow and pursed her lips, a silent challenge. His features twisted. She hoped he wouldn't spit on her, for his sake. "That'll be all, Agent Nadir," the man across the room said, dismissing the weasel. McKenzee closed her eyes, dreading what came next.